Okay, so hello. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm glad you could take a few minutes out of your time this evening and join us. I'm really excited to do this. Um, as many of you know, I was at a workshop or conference this weekend, and it was all about health and wellness, and we learned so many great things. And I got such a positive response on Facebook that I felt like I should share some of the things I learned from this doctor who's an infectious disease specialist. And he really gave us a lot of great information. So I just kind of picked some highlights to kind of share. Um, I like to everything I learn, I like to pass along to others, especially when it comes to health and wellness. And we have a few other people on the line that were also there, Sharon and Doug and Sony. So they'll kind of chime in too. So we'll go ahead and get started. Dr. Dubois talked on transforming our nation's health. And, he started off saying something that I didn't really think about, but it's so true. And it's that we don't have a healthcare system in the United States. We have a disease management system. And so, we get the disease, you fall into the system, and they manage it. And each of us is personally responsible to maintain our health and reduce our risk of disease, because we really don't have a future if you don't have your health. And your health depends on your nutrition, which is part of the choices that we make every day. We decide what we'll put into our bodies and how we take care of ourselves. He talked about the core four, which I loved. If we can just remember these four things. And the first one was to eat more fruits and vegetables. And he talked about how the more fruits and vegetables you eat, you can actually change your palate, because every 3 weeks, our taste buds regenerate. So the more good foods you eat, and fruits and vegetables, the more you'll crave those things and the more you'll eat them. And then the second thing was exercise. And a lot of people think if they exercise, I have to run or I have to go to the gym and pump weights. And it's just about getting up and moving. And to me, I think it's doing what you feel, what you love, something that you enjoy doing, and that'll help you stay motivated and it'll help you stay consistent. So it's just about moving in whatever way you want to do, but trying to get that in a couple times a week. And the third one was drink more water, which is so important. And it's something I've really learned the importance of over the past 2 to 3 years since I started on my health journey. I was a big soda and sweet tea drinker, and the difference has been amazing. But water just has so many great benefits to your health. So it's very, very important. And now, water is my choice to drink 90% of the time. And the fourth one I thought was really interesting, but it was to think positively. He sort of made a joke of the way to do this is to not watch TV for 30 days because of all the crazy stuff that's going on. But it really is important to think positively, whether it's, motivating or if it's, a Bible study or whatever it is, but to every day try and stay positive. It really does affect your health and wellness. There was another statistic that just blew me away. He said the experts at Yale University said that we'll have the first generations of Americans that will have this will be the first generation of children in America that will have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. And that is so scary as a parent, because we definitely don't want to outlive our children. They should be outliving us. And it's because of, the health of everybody today. But he did give hope. He says it's never too early and it's never too late to get healthy and fit. He described fitness as the result of proper the result of proper exercise performed over an extended period of time. And being healthy is the result of proper nutrition over an extended period of time. So although it's never too early and it's never too late, they're not overnight events. and they're going to take time. So you have to give yourself time and be patient to work on those two things so that you can be healthy and be fit. He talked about this epigenome and epigenetics, and it was really kind of cool. He said that we have 22,000 genes, and these genes are wrapped in epigenome. And the epigenome consists of switches, actually like 4 million switches. And these switches respond to the choices that we make. And the choices that we make can change your genes and those of your children. And this is why your DNA is not your destiny. DNA is a code of life. It's something you're born with. And our bodies use oxygen to generate energy from foods that we've eaten, even when we're asleep. And that process generates sparks called free radicals. And 10,000 times a day, in every cell in your body, DNA is damaged by these free radicals. And it's bombarding our systems, doing damage from the inside out. But science has discovered that, thankfully, Mother Nature developed a way for us to neutralize these free radicals, and that's by taking in antioxidants, which we find in plant foods, like fruits and vegetables and berries. He said that the foundation of good health is from whole food, plant-based nutrition. And it's something you really need to get back to eating every day. The recommendation of fruits and vegetables is 7 to 13 servings a day. And he said to think of a serving size as the size of your fist. And if you think about it, most of us do not eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. So there's a huge gap between what we need to eat and what we are actually eating. And we have to find a way to bridge that gap. And that's sort of where the community that I'm part of comes into play. It's called Juice Plus, and what they've done is taken fruits and vegetables and put them in capsules and chewables. And Dr. Dubois calls it Mother Nature's balance, which I love. And he talks about, there are two ways that Juice Plus has helped bridge this gap. And the first one is simple and fun, and it's from our Tower Garden, which we can tell you more about if you're interested, but it's how to grow your own. And then the other one, he said, it's smart and easy, and that's the Juice Plus capsules and chewables. We have a complete protein-based vegan shake, and then we have our complete bars. So I think it's amazing how we live our mission every day. The mission of this company is inspiring healthy living around the world. And we're touching so many lives. There was one statistic he gave that we've impacted over 1 million families through our Children's Health Study. And the Children's Health Study is children ages 4 up to college can get Juice Plus for up to 4 years for every adult order that's being placed. So we're helping the younger generation become healthier and become and to change all of the bad genes that we have by having them take the fruits and vegetables into their system as they're young kids, and then hopefully they'll continue and become healthy adults, and we can reverse this trend of what we have right now of all this disease in our nation. So I came across this community about 2 years ago, and it has truly transformed my life. My son and I are both on Juice Plus, and we've had some really great results. My son is an athlete, and he's been, injury-free, and he stays healthy. He doesn't get sick. He's able to focus on his schoolwork as well as doing his, all of his athletic activities. And the transformation in him has been amazing to see how diligent he is about what he puts in his body. And he's become a very big water drinker, and he takes his water to school every day. And, you know, he sees me making changes and being healthy, and he's definitely on board and doing the same thing. So this is something I became very passionate about after I lost my mom to lung cancer a few years ago, because she had never smoked a day in her life. So I knew it had to be from her lifestyle, and I wanted to change that. And so we have, and I know my son and I are on the right track to turning things around. So I'm gonna open it up for Sharon or Doug to share a little bit more, maybe some more of what Dr. Dubois said that I didn't hit on, or something else you might want to share.
Or Sony. I think Sony's very prepared to share.
Oh. Okay,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, Joy, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to share this evening. I really appreciated getting that invitation, and you know, just to kind of come back a little bit to what you said about what Dr. Dubois shared. And, you know, he said, everyone wants happiness and prosperity in your future, but what is your future if you don't have your health? And, you know, again, that no one's going to do this for us, but there are simple and fun ways and smart and easy ways, like you mentioned, with the Juice Plus capsules and soft chewables and all the other nutritional options with the shake. And I just want to share a little bit more about that. And one of the things that he said was, plants have cell walls. Human being cells don't have a wall around them. We'll have a membrane, but there's not a wall. And so there's, in making Juice Plus and getting those fruits and veggies into the capsules, they're basically put through like a big giant industrial Vitamix. And that crushing and shearing breaks down that cell wall, so that now that nutrition inside of those plant cells is that much more accessible to our body. And so he shared a lot of the research. There are about 35 peer-reviewed clinical studies published in medical journals, conducted in institutions from around the world, and published in journals from around the world as well. Some of the most prestigious journals and most prestigious institutions have researched Juice Plus. And that's why I share it with other people, because we have that to back us up. No other product can say that they have 35 product-specific journal articles. And so some of the research has looked at things like oxidative stress, which basically, Joy, you mentioned those free radicals. If you think about it like sparks, you know, if you think about a fire burning and sparks coming off of the fire, that same thing happens inside of our body every day as we breathe and metabolize food and, you know, all those things that we have to be alive, right? But, you know, nature was smart. Nature knew the remedy, had provided us the remedy in those fruits and veggies. And so we have several studies that show that Juice Plus reduces oxidative stress. It protects our DNA. And, you know, that's what leads to cancer, is when you have breakdowns and mutations and problems in our DNA. So you can assert from that we're going to protect against that. What else? Diabetic patients that are becoming insulin resistant, they have tremendous results when they add Juice Plus in. It helps to reduce insulin resistance. He mentioned that. He also mentioned to consider that when you eat, like, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to have some whole wheat toast. That's healthy, right? And, you know, the fact is that just turns right into sugar. So eating 2 slices of wheat toast is the same thing as sitting down and eating 2 tablespoons of table sugar. It's so much sugar in our body. So, again, you know, just coming back to these simple and fun ways of getting more fruits and veggies into our body every day. And what that means is we'll have access to a huge amount, not just vitamins and minerals. There's only like 16 vitamins and 13 minerals. There's very few, but what we really need from those whole food, plant-based nutrition is the phytonutrients and the antioxidants, those antioxidants to combat against oxidative stress. And then the other thing he mentioned was that when we consume more fruits and vegetables, Joy, you mentioned that he talked about the epigenome and how we could have that gene in our DNA, but the epigenome was going to be the switch that would actually turn on whether or not that gene gets expressed. And so as you're eating more and more fruits and vegetables and getting more phytonutrients and antioxidants in your body, that's suppressing the bad genes and turning on the good genes. So just another reason to keep going with more fruits and veggies in our body every day. And then the thing that complements that also is with our complete shake, we have prebiotics in our complete shake and probiotics in our capsules. And so the epigenome is one of the major areas of research right now, but another major area of research in the scientific community now is the microbiome. So basically, if you think that we've got 10 trillion cells to our body, we have 100 trillion bacterial cells in our body, or 100 trillion bacteria in our body. So there's way more bacteria in our body than there's even cells. We're like these walking around bacteria machines, and we want to make sure we've got the good bacteria. Everybody knows about probiotics nowadays, that those are the good bacteria, and we want to let them flourish. So we have research that's being conducted right now to take a look at the impact on what they call the microbiome, and that are we letting the good guys win and keeping the bad guys suppressed. And I just want to echo that core 4, right? Eating more fruits and veggies, hydrating. Sharon just took her sip of water. I saw we all grabbed water after you said something about water earlier. All right, exercising and relaxation, that positive thinking and relaxation, those are going to support our health in so many ways and in such powerful ways that we really don't usually think it's going to be that significant, but it really is. So thanks again for the opportunity to share tonight, Joy.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Tony. You did such a great job.
You want me to go ahead and share, Joy?
Sure, Miss Sharon.
Thanks for inviting us. You know, before we say any more about Dr. Dubois, I have to say he's going to be in South Florida Saturday, July 30th. So if you are in South Florida, that's a wonderful thing. It's going to be at 9:30 a.m. at the Westin Hotel, Cypress Creek and I-95. So he is a powerful speaker. He's so quick, articulate, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't write notes fast enough. He's an infectious disease doctor who really was at the forefront of wellness 25 years ago when he started to really look at wellness. And he says, sorry, I lost my place already. He said, healthy and fit people are happy people, which is so true. And he said he treated HIV patients, and he said he cared for 300 who died a year. And he said people who did best with their nutrition did best with their HIV. So, I mean, it's common sense, but I think a lot of people don't really invest that time and effort into really knowing even what good nutrition is, which is the foundation of good nutrition is tons of fruits and vegetables. You know, you really can't get enough. And so like you guys have said, it's great to get it from Juice Plus in concentrated form. We also need to eat them every day. He says we have a nation of abundance, but that also brings a lot of foods with negative nutritional value. I thought that was a good way to put it. I usually call it birthday party foods of the 50s, but foods that have negative nutritional value. That's so true. And he said poor nutrition and stress is what promotes the bad genes. Like we all have those good and bad genes that can be turned on or off according to epigenetics, which is the study of those genes. So we need to make sure we only feed our body the good stuff so that our good genes stay on. He says that it can take 2 years to change the microbiome of our intestines. And so it's important that we start now, every single day, raw, fresh fruits and vegetables. That's how you change the microbiome. We know that, like you said, Sony, the power of probiotics and changing that. So it's really good to focus on that. I love that our complete shake and our Juice Plus capsules are being studied in a microbiome study. So they're going to see our complete shake has the prebiotic to the probiotic. So, and also our our Juice Plus capsules have a probiotic as well. I know I've seen many, many good changes in our health, and Doug's on here and he's going to talk about those. But for our family, like for me, I no longer have to get a cold that then turns into hacking cough, then antibiotics. I no longer get ear infections that turn into antibiotics. I'm no longer as drained. I have a lot more vitality in my late 40s than I ever did in my 20s and 30s, and I no longer have allergies. So all that is the power of fruits and vegetables on your immune system and the power of Juice Plus. Go ahead, David.
Hey, thank you. And Joy, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to share about what I learned from Dr. Dubois. I've been using the Juice Plus smoothie, the shake, it's called Complete, for several years. And since starting to really use that and taking the capsules and cutting out, instead of doing things like bagels for breakfast, having that Juice Plus smoothie, I've been able to go off of blood pressure and cholesterol medication over the last several years and lose about 30 pounds. So sometimes when I'm sharing about the shake with people, or the complete shake with people, it's a soy-based protein. So sometimes, soy gets a bad name. And it was exciting that Dr. Dubois addressed what the deal is with soy. And he said about 90% of the soy that's grown or sold in the United States is highly processed and genetically modified. And that explains it's not the same thing as the soy that I learned about in this book called the China Study, where it studies like the Asian cultures and the food they eat and how healthy they are and how they live to over 100 years old in some of these countries. So that kind of explained that. And also our soy in the shake is water washed, which is the highest quality way to process the soy. And another thing that he kind of alluded to is, soy milk and all these products are getting very popular, so that the dairy industry doesn't want to lose business. So part of that is kind of like a conspiracy thing where like the bad name gets out there from people that are trying to make soy look bad. But soy is really healthy, and the soy in our complete shake is the healthiest possible soy there is out there. The one other thing that I had a great takeaway was when he talked about the grains. I heard somebody talk about it earlier. The modern grains in our breads has a very high glycemic index. In fact, he said that even wheat bread can give you as much or more sugar than actually just eating sugar. So the way they've changed the wheat in order to grow it and have more yields in the farms has resulted in us having this really high amounts of gluten in our bread. That's why you're always hearing about gluten-free, gluten-free, gluten-free. Well, I found that I didn't really understand why, but when I don't eat bread, I don't feel like that nasty, bloated feeling. And even if I'm eating wheat bread, I still just don't feel right. But when I don't eat bread, I feel so much better. So he talked about a book called Wheat Belly, and I've been reading that book and kind of educating myself, because nowadays we have to take control of our own health. We can't just let the people that are marketing things to just make money off of us in the food industry be the ones that tell us what we should be eating, being the ones that are telling us that, oh, buy this product because it's low fat, or it's this, or it's that. So we're really, in our community, we're studying, we're learning, we listen to doctors and research, and we're just taking control of our own health. So it was a great presentation. And again, Joy, thanks for having me on.
Oh, I'm glad you were all able to get on here and chime in. I want to thank each of you for coming on and helping to add to Dr. Dubois and add a little bit more about Juice Plus and all of its, all of the positive results that you've had. I don't know if anybody has any questions. We can open it up for questions. You can unmute and you can ask a question if you had a question from anybody. Everyone wants to ask a question.
I don't have any questions, Joy.
Okay, I'm glad you could join us though.
No, thank you. It was very good information. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Okay, well, I guess if no one has any questions, we will close it out. Again, thanks again for joining us. I'm glad I was able to pass along some information. And, if you have any questions about anything we talked about, you can definitely reach out to me.
Yeah, can you inbox me the website so I can read more about it?
Definitely, yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.